What's up, guys? How's it going? Your driver Mike here, back with another live stream. I want to welcome you to this, oh wow, Tuesday live stream, guys. We have too much to talk about. So much to talk about right now, guys. Let's take off our little wait screen here. All right, thank you, and welcome again to the live stream here, guys. Your driver Mike. Thanks for watching the live stream. Today, as you can see, we are talking everything tipping, and I could not believe what happened today. I was checking my email at 30,000 feet. I came back from vacation from the Las Vegas market, and we have a lot to talk about. Partly what happened with the Vegas trip, and most importantly, what happened in that email that I checked here. Big, massive, huge developments from Uber today, and recent news from Lyft as well that kind of coincidentally are talking about the same thing, and that is tips. Again, if you're just joining right now, I want to welcome you to the live stream. This channel is dedicated to the rideshare space, so if you're a driver, if you're a passenger, if you're someone just interested in the rideshare space, consider subscribing. So let's bring up the live chat here. And again, I want to welcome you here, guys. We're going to talk everything tips today. All right, here's our chat this way. All right, so leave a comment if the sound is good, if you're excited to talk about tips today, so you can share your dialogue in the live chat stream. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, we post that stream up there so you can see the back and forth, the dialogue. And let's bring up our itinerary as well, guys. 4 people watching right now. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys joining. I just got back into Pittsburgh a little bit ago. If I look a little tired, I apologize. 4.5-hour flight from Las Vegas, which was a really good trip, and we did a little bit in the rideshare space while we were there as well. So let's see what we're going to talk about today, guys. All right, here is our itinerary for today. If you're watching on the live stream or if you're watching on the rebroadcast, check it out. Uber announced today that they are finally, guys, adding in-app tipping to the Uber and the Uber Eats platforms. We're doing a Q&A. We are talking about Lyft's earlier response, because I believe this was first that Lyft announced this, but Lyft is encouraging higher tips on longer runs, which is fantastic. They made some changes to their default with their tipping feature. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to get more tips. We talked about that in another video, I think a live stream, but we're going to talk about that as well because that's very relevant to our discussion today. We're going to go about, I don't know, however long you want to go, guys. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Welcome again if you're just joining. Maybe 45 minutes, an hour, or more, depending on how long the Q&A goes here. So let's check our live stream here. We got still a few people here. We'll let a few people join. And again, thanks for everyone joining here. Again, if this sounds okay, leave a comment here. Let me know that everything's going okay on your end. And in just another sec here, we will jump right into the big announcement from Uber. Finally, guys, Uber announced in-app tipping, which is fantastic because if anyone has driven for Lyft, at least for me, about 10% of my earnings comes from tips. Dean, welcome. Hey, thanks. Sounds good. That's awesome. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, if you guys have driven Lyft, I think about 10% of my earnings come from tips, somewhere around there. So this feature, this long-awaited, needed feature in the Uber app is finally here. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's talk tips, and let's show you guys what happened today here. Let's bring up the email. And you'll see this in 2 places. You'll see this both in your driver app, and you'll see this in your email, which is why it's so important. If you're not getting emails, if you're not getting updated notifications in the Uber app, make sure you update to the most current version of the Uber app so you don't miss any of this. And if it seems like you're not getting any emails, reach out to a Greenlight support center or contact the help support through the Uber app. Make sure you're getting all these notifications. So let's take a look at the app first, guys. Let's take a look at the app. All right, so you should see this in your app today, okay? And this is actually part of a much bigger, hopefully exciting plan from Uber. You can see here, we heard you. Tipping is coming. Additionally, shorter cancellation windows, no more unpaid wait times, Quest earnings on Instant Pay, which means they're eligible for Instant Pay, and optional driver insurance protection. We talked about that a little bit before. So this is part of a big 6-month kind of revitalization, we'll say. It's not a rebranding, but they're kind of trying to make the platform better for drivers here. So 6 months. And interestingly, and I wanted to ask you guys here, who's seen this already? Okay. How many people is this completely new? Who has not seen this? Is this completely new for most people? I know this just kind of came out here. So let me know. Oh, we got 6 people in the live stream. You guys are awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining this post-jet lag live stream, guys. And everyone watching on the rebroadcast, so thank you very much for joining. I'm super pumped. I like doing these live streams. So we still had to do the live stream, guys. I knew I wanted to do it because there's just too much to talk about. Too many new things from Uber today, and Lyft, actually. So how many people is this completely new? Have you guys seen this yet? Have you seen the developments from Lyft yet? Let me know. Okay, so if this is new to you, what this is basically a 6-month plan of attack for Uber, specifically for us. This is specifically for drivers, okay? I haven't seen anything in my email or my passenger app. I've been checking both of those all day today. I haven't seen anything for passengers. Guys, this is specifically just for drivers. 6 months, hopefully, of really good improvements. They're telling us that there's going to be big improvements, small improvements, but there's going to be improvements every single month, basically, for these next 180 days. Dark Road Run. It's like a tongue twister, man. Dark Road Run. Yeah, I saw you in the comments. Glad you're liking the live stream. Dark Road Run says, love these live streams. That's awesome. Thumbs up, everybody. That's sweet. I really appreciate that. If you do enjoy these live streams, leave a like. It shows me that you guys get value from these live streams, and it boosts us in YouTube's algorithm, gets more people in here, gets more people on the Your Driver team. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. Okay, so we were talking about this new kind of revitalization for Uber, and that's what it is, guys. And I have so many questions right here, over here off screen, guys. So many questions to ask you about why now, right? Why now? What does this mean for Uber, okay, for branding purposes? What does this mean for us, okay? Dark Road Run. Uber should let us set our own rates like Airbnb. It's been tried. I mean, I'm sure you guys know Sidecar. Sidecar, which was a ride-hailing function in 2015, let's say. I think it was 2015. Let drivers set their own rates. Excuse me. And Sidecar didn't work out. I mean, you know, it could have been a multitude of things, but for whatever reason, that platform did not work that let drivers set their own rates. There is another platform here in Pittsburgh, Cabby Go, I believe, Cabby Go. If we get Michael in here, I think he drives Cabby Go. But that platform lets you set your own rates as well. That's a very interesting kind of business model to let drivers set their own rates, because I'm concerned, I think other drivers are concerned that it's going to be a race to the bottom, you know, and no one wants that, because if rates are, let's say here in Pittsburgh, they're $110 a mile. Okay, if you have an open market system, if Drivers are willing to drive even less, even 105, $1 a mile for whatever reason. Okay, that could actually get you lower rates than Uber, but that's just one side of the coin, of course. Okay, so going back to tipping here, guys, let's bring up the actual email and show you guys the verbiage from Uber. And if this is new to you, there's some big things in this email that I want to go over, and you can see it here in the driver app. Lots to talk about. All right, so let's bring up this email. All right. So we're going to go through this pretty in depth, okay? And now, if you've seen this already, if you've gone over this, yourself thoroughly, this may not be, this initial part of this live stream may not be new to you, but this is meant for, even if you have already seen it. If you've already seen it, this is meant to be a review, but this was just announced, so we're going to go over this pretty thoroughly here. So, what I think is kind of interesting here, guys, is look who it's addressed to. Look who the email is addressed to, guys. They didn't get the name right. Their algorithm, or however they write their email, the software didn't get the name right. It says, Dear 8A755 instead of my name. Okay. So, Dear Mike, we've heard you. You've told us what you want, and now it's time we step up and give you the driving experience you deserve. Because simply put, Uber wouldn't exist without you, which is true. That's what I've said. Without us, the platform doesn't work. Today, we are making a commitment. For the next 180 days and beyond, we will be making meaningful changes and improvements to your driving experience. Some changes will be big, some will be small. All will be the changes you've asked for. Each month for the next 6 months, we'll share major improvements that will make driving more flexible and less stressful, giving you earnings and support you can depend on. Okay, there's so much that we can take out of this just first paragraph of this email, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a question in that comment section. The reason we do these live streams is to have a dialogue, versus me just talking to you and reading the emails. So feel free, don't be shy to put a comment, post a question. We can definitely have an open dialogue there. Dark Road Run, is Uber keeping the upfront pricing scam? Yeah, I'm sure most of you guys know about this, but it actually changed a little bit even more frequently. There's initial upfront pricing discrepancy, but now with the new terms of service, it got even more tweaked and customized. Whereas 2 passengers requesting similar rides can get drastically different prices, like 20% different from each other. And I believe it was Business Week, don't quote me on that, but stated that the new terms of service says that Uber can charge you based on how affluent the area is that you're coming from or going to. So if I'm requesting a ride in a very affluent neighborhood and I'm going to a 5-star hotel, which is also a very affluent establishment, meaning expensive, they can charge me more, versus if I'm going in the town over, which is more blue collar, let's say, and I'm going to McDonald's, okay? And let's say the mileage and the time is the same. That's the important thing to note here. If the mileage and time is the same, okay, that's how the Uber system is meant to meant to work, but you may get different prices, and that's that discrepancy that Dark Road Run is talking about. If they're going to keep it, sorry to tangent there, but if they're going to keep it, probably, I think so. I think they're being heavily pushed from drivers and passengers, calling them out about this. But in the immediate short term, 1 to 3 months, I think they'll keep it, But if they're very tactful, they'll change it. But I don't think they're going to change it maybe at least until 3 months. Because they just established it, then if they back out, it's not going to look good. Dark Road, they're sending emails to their self-driving cars now. Emails about extending in different markets. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Sleeping Elephant, thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting, by the way. Do you think this is a sign of weakness for Uber? That's an awesome question. That's a fantastic question. Interesting, because Uber, and actually this is kind of going along with one of the questions I had for you guys, is Uber showing weakness? Okay, how much of this, and this is one of my big questions I want to ask you guys, how much of this is Travis Kalanick? Of course, CEO of Uber, who's taken a open-ended leave of absence. How much of this is his idea, and how much of this is their operations head? And you'll see it here in the email. I believe her name is Rachel Holt. Rachel Holt, H-O-L-T, head of U.S. operations, as well as Aaron Schlidkraut, head of driver experience. That's who's writing this email to us. So how much of it is that team, and how much of this is Travis Kalanick? I kind of feel like this is the new team. I don't know. Kalanick told his team to be bold in their decision making, and Uber has for some time needed a revitalization of their culture. So Sleeping Elephant, is it a weakness? If it is, they're disguising it pretty well as a business strategy. I mean, how many drivers are going to say, well, hey, I'm a little bit less mad at Uber because they finally added in-app tipping, right? Plus, if everything that they add in the next 6 months is very good, if they're adding more and more and more good features, how many of us are going to say, like, oh, well, I still hate Uber if it's getting better and better and better? They're finally doing things to help. That may help them. Their weakness was, relations with the drivers. So that, I think, is definitely a clear weakness. And maybe they're taking signs to finally fix that. Dean, thanks again for commenting. One change should be cancellation fees on surge. Yeah, they I believe did some changes to cancellations here. And we may see that going over these emails. But I know what you're saying, right? If there's a 3.0 and a passenger cancels on you, the cancellation fee could be higher. I don't know. An argument there could be made, well, you are canceling and other passengers during that high demand period, you took a car away from those passengers. Those passengers were waiting. Let's see, a football game, and you requested a ride, you held that car, and then you canceled it. Those people are waiting longer. Those people would have taken your car that you just canceled. You're inconveniencing them, and you're inconveniencing your driver who is making their way to you and was set to make a decent profit. And then if surge changed, I see what you're getting at. That's a good point. Dark Road, I know. Dear 978. Autonomous vehicle email address. Oh, okay, I see. All right, guys, let's continue with this email here. Let's close this. And let's go into our next page. This is all one long email. We're just going through the page here. 11 people on the live stream. That is awesome. That's a new record, guys. You are here live for the new record of the Your Driver Mike live stream. I appreciate every one of you guys joining the live stream. Share it out. Leave a like. If you leave a like, it gets us out to more people and shows me that you appreciate the live streams. So, by the way, if you just joined, we're talking about Uber's huge announcement. They're finally adding in-app tipping. So here's the second page of the email. Okay, and let's go over this after 1 sec here. All right, guys, page 2 of this email. Hey, we got XA, I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for joining. XAKEP 909, thank you for joining. Sierra, congrats on the new record. Thank you. It's a modest record, guys. Let's see. Okay, we dropped down to 10, that's okay, but a modest record of 11 people. That's pretty cool, I like it. Would love to see you collab with Uberman. That'd be pretty cool. I've been watching Randy for over a year and a half before I started driving Uber and Lyft. I'm sure most of you guys know Randy, aka Uberman, on here. and Harry the rideshare guy. I watched both of those guys before I started driving. Page 2. Okay, page 2. Tipping is coming. Finally. Tipping is available in, pay attention, only Seattle, Minneapolis, and Houston as of today. We're starting with only 3 cities so we can create the best tipping experience for you and your riders. We'll be adding more cities over the next few weeks, and we'll make tips available to all U.S. drivers by the end of July 2017. That is, of course, by the end of next month. Of course, Uber service fees are never deducted from your tips. What I thought was kind of funny about that is they say like, oh, of course, tips are never, a commission is never taken out of tips, as in they've always done that, which they've never done that because they've never had tipping in the app. Like, oh yeah, of course, commission is never taken out, but this is completely new. That's what Lyft says. Lyft says that kind of verbiage. Number 2, shorter 2-minute cancellation windows, and these are more features, guys. Okay. Remember in the app, it told us about this. It's not just tipping, okay? You'll receive a cancellation fee if your rider cancels after more than 2 minutes, down, of course, from 5 minutes previously. So if you get your ping request, right, you're heading over to your rider, 5 minutes can be a good amount of driving, especially highway. It doesn't really seem like it, but you can knock out a good amount of distance in 5 minutes. Or, here in Pittsburgh, we had to cross a lot of bridges sometimes. 5 minutes, you can go pretty far from one side to the other of the river. So now, you'll get that cancellation after 2 minutes, which is fantastic. Because 2 minutes is not a lot of time. Okay, 120 seconds, guys. If you don't want that ride, you cancel it. Because if you don't, your driver is getting a cancellation fee. Interestingly, that's not available in all markets. Cancellation fees are not everywhere. So that's kind of interesting, okay? I wonder if they're going to add that to more markets. No more unpaid wait times. You will earn a per minute rate if you wait for a rider starting 2 minutes after arrival. I believe this was already piloted, actually. So basically, okay, if you get that ping request, 2 minutes, after 2 minutes, if they cancel, you'll get that cancellation fee, okay? But forget that. If you get to your passenger, if they don't cancel, okay, now you're going to get paid the per minute as you wait after 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. So at least you're getting something per minute. It's not a lot. It's 15 cents a minute here. So 2 minutes, 30 cents, right? Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. You're waiting anyway. Now, interestingly, if it starts at 2 minutes, and they don't come out after 5 minutes, you can cancel, right? So you're going to get the cancellation plus the time that you waited, which is going to be 45 cents, let's say, in that case. So that's interesting. Next, all driver destination trips count towards Quest. Okay, Quest is city-specific goals. It'll say, like, okay, take 10 rides, earn an extra $20 during this time period. Take 10 rides during this time period, make an extra, whatever, $10. We have not gotten a lot of those. I think that's another pretty new feature. Yeah, I know. Sleeping Elephant, wow, 15 cents. Better than zero, I guess. Better than zero, guys. Your operational costs for your deductions, 53.5 cents. So at least it's kind of offsetting some of that operational cost. Because remember, you're going to be waiting anyway. This is once you get to your passenger, and the app says rider notified. You're going to be waiting anyway from 0 until 5 minutes. There we go. From 0 until 5 minutes, and then after that you cancel, right? If they're not there, you cancel. Hopefully your market has a cancellation fee, but again, not all markets have a cancellation fee. But at least you'll be getting something, I suppose. Exactly. Yeah, Chris. Chris, thank you for joining the live stream. I saw you in the last one, so I appreciate you joining the live stream. Chris says anything is better than zero. Yeah, it's not much, but it is something. Run, Lyft, and leave. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a fan of Lyft. I always say you have to balance the demand trends. You have to balance surge and prime time, boosts, power zones. And before that, it was tipping, right? If it's base fare, I would take the Lyft because Lyft has a more higher chance of tipping because Uber didn't have it, but now that changes, right? So let's see here. Driver injury protection insurance. You have the option to help protect yourself and your earnings in the event of a covered accident, etc. That is 4 cents a mile. We have a whole video on that, I believe. I think we did a live stream on that. It's 4 cents a mile, and it covers. I don't want to get too much into this. I don't want to get you guys wrong information, but we did talk about that more in depth in that live stream. But it covers you, okay, for 4 cents a mile. Chris, Lyft and Uber have the future of transportation in their hands. I don't understand why they're ruining it or making it so freaking annoying. What do you guys think? Are Uber and Lyft ruining the transportation and or ride-sharing industry? Dark Road says, are there still any taxi driver protests anymore? Good question. I saw something in the news, maybe Madrid, but I think that was Uber and Lyft related protests. I'm not sure. I saw something really quickly in the news. Don't quote me on that. But taxi driver protests, I haven't heard of much, at least in Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas. I haven't heard much from taxi companies. But if anyone else has heard, let us know. Let us post in the comments here. Sleeping Elephant, there will be competitors. Absolutely. Always will be. There's always someone trying to do it better. What's a taxi? Yes, yes. So, yeah, guys, if you have any questions on this second page of this email before we go on to page 3, let's focus on. I'm never gonna get the orientation right, guys. I swear. The tipping. 3 markets. If you're in Seattle, I think we have someone that usually joins us here from Minneapolis. Seattle, Minneapolis, Houston. You guys are getting tipping, but you have to jump through some hoops here. I'm going to show you what that means. So let's close this out, and let's look at the last page here of this email. Okay. When are the changes coming? We are launching these improvements city by city over the summer. Visit this link to see when these changes will arrive to your town. In the meantime, please update and restart your driver app so you can experience these changes. So what next? This is just the beginning. Over the next 180 days, we are committed to making driving with Uber better than ever. Look out for the next round of improvements in July. We know there's a long road ahead, but we won't stop until we get there. With our sincere thanks, again, Rachel Holt, Head of U.S. Operations, and Aaron Schlidkraut, Head of Driver Experience. Hey, we got some... oh, Sierra, you're in Seattle. Guys, Sierra now has the tipping option within her Uber app in Seattle. That's really cool. And you guys in Seattle, anyone in Seattle, you guys get a lot of pilot programs and new features first. They're very proactive in the Seattle market. That's pretty neat. Oh, we have 15. How many we got? Oh, we got 16 in this live stream. That's awesome, guys. I want to thank everyone that is joining this live stream. If you are just joining, we're talking so much about Uber and Lyft today, all about tipping, some new features that are going to help you when you're out driving. And if you're new to the channel, this channel is dedicated to the rideshare space. If you're a driver, if you're a passenger, if you're someone just interested in the rideshare space, consider subscribing. And thank you for joining the live stream. We have awesome engagement here, guys. Happy Tuesday. I'm fresh back from the Las Vegas, Nevada market. I had a little vacation here. If you follow on Twitter, @YourDriverMike on Twitter, if you want to see. We were vacationing, my girlfriend and I, my brother, and some friends were vacationing out there, and we took some Uber rides, we took some Lyft rides, we used some Uber Eats. You know I'm all about it, guys. And great drivers, by the way. Very, very good drivers. We had a very nice Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Very, very nice car. We had a Lyft, I believe, yeah, Lyft from the airport. Everyone has the Lyft amp, by the way. we don't have it. Every single person has a Lyft amp out there. I didn't see any Uber beacons, but there are a bunch of Lyft amps out there. And always tip. Always tip. I'm now a 4.97 passenger, guys. I think people appreciate the tips, and why wouldn't you? And now I can tip within the app in select markets. Dark Road says, hope your driver Mike is the next PewDiePie. PewDiePie's got, what, 55 million? Slowly but surely, guys. We're coming up on 500, by the way. We're coming up, and we need to do another giveaway. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, if you're watching this live, we need to do another giveaway for 500. We did one for 100. We gave away $50 in a Wawa gas card, which is very, very needed. We gave that away for 100 subscribers. So we need to do a giveaway for 500. What do you think, guys? What do you think we should do for 500? I'm thinking a Falcon F360 dash cam. I believe that's a $150 to $160 value. Sierra, hey, thanks for subscribing. I just got your notification. That's awesome. I appreciate having you as a subscriber, part of the Your Driver team. Thanks, guys. So yeah, let me know. I'm thinking a Falcon F360 dash cam, or maybe a another kind of 100, maybe $100 gas card, something like that we can do. Let me know. Okay, so tipping, guys. Any other questions? Dark Road says Lyft stole that amp idea. Did they? Was the beacon first? If you guys don't know, the Uber beacon and the Lyft amp are illuminated trade dress logos. Uber's being the Bits and Atoms new logo that lights up, which corresponds to a phone app. We got another subscriber update. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. The beacon corresponds to a app. It corresponds with the Uber passenger app, and the beacon will shine a certain color, and the there we go. Passenger app will shine the corresponding color, and that helps drivers and passengers find themselves. And the Lyft beacon, the Lyft amp does the same thing. It will shine a certain color, and it will correspond with the Lyft passenger app. Corresponding color helps drivers and passengers find themselves. Sierra, I thought I was subbed to you. Yeah, guys, you can check, because Michael, who joins the live stream sometimes here, who's a subscriber, I believe in Pittsburgh as well, mentioned that he was unsubbed to the channel. It's a known YouTube bug that's happened a couple months ago. I'm wondering if it's still happening, where YouTube would unsub people kind of accidentally. John, thanks for commenting. Thanks for joining the live stream here. John says, should be at least $1.50 a mile in all markets. I agree. It should be. Yeah. I honestly think $2 a mile has always been my magic number. For anyone driving, just generally, $2 a mile, it's always been my magic number. Let's lower this a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, it just seemed right, at $2. Again, at 53.5 cents is your threshold for expenses for the IRS deductions. That encapsulates everything: insurance, tires, maintenance, oil changes, gas, the cost of operating the vehicle. That's just an umbrella deduction. The IRS says, hey, there's a lot of math and a lot of receipts and a lot of things to tally up for deductions. Why don't we do it for you and just give you a general number that's an average for most people? And that's what that 53.5 cents is. You can do itemized deductions, because you may have a higher or lower operating cost, and you can take whichever is better for you. for a deduction. But again, you have to keep all that documentation, okay, everything. If you're going to claim X amount on brake pads, X amount on oil changes, should you get audited, which is a low chance, but you need to have, the mileage log and all those receipts. So, Lisa, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Okay, let's. When I got the notification to accept tips today in Houston. Oh, awesome! I thought hell had frozen over. They made me accept a new addendum. Yeah, before going online. I appreciate you just joining the live stream. We have Sierra in the Seattle market, and we have Lisa in the Houston market, both of which are live. I'm just double checking here because it's. Yeah, yep. Both of them have in-app tipping today. Seattle, Minneapolis, and Houston, you guys are live with in-app tipping. So let's show you what it looks like. Let's show you what Sierra and Lisa are seeing here. Let's cut that out, okay? And this may cover the screen, guys, but let me show you here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm just going to cover the whole screen real quick. Just one sec. Appreciate your patience. Okay. So this is what you will see in your driver app when tipping comes to your market. I'll bring the live chat right back, guys. You won't be able to see it. Keep commenting if you'd like. I just, it's a lot going on the screen, so I took it off real quick. Okay, how it works. You can now accept tips through the app. Uber riders and Uber Eats customers. So passengers and Eats customers will have the option to recognize your service, as they should, right? We're providing, exceptional service, guys, by adding a tip after their trip or delivery, all through the app. There are 0 service fees applied to your tips, and they can be cashed out just like your other earnings, okay? And now you'll see here, and what Lisa was commenting, how she had to do a new addendum and restart the app. Note, as soon as tipping becomes available in your city, you'll be notified in your Uber driver app and by email. To start accepting tips from riders, 1, update or download the latest version of the Uber driver app. Guys, I always advocate doing that. Do it when you have Wi-Fi if you're concerned about data, for the downloads. But when you download updates, you'll see news, new features in your market, new features on the app, okay? Redesigns, improvements in setup, organization of the app. So if you're letting those updates stack up and you're waiting, you could be missing out on something that could help you, when driving, help you navigate better, help you, make more sense of your earnings or whatever it may be. Now, I believe if you don't update, they'll probably force update it for you eventually. But if you don't update, you could be missing out on this stuff. Secondly, you have to close and restart your app. 3, accept tips. You have to physically tap accept tips in the app. Okay? For whatever reason, if you happen to not want to accept tips, you can click maybe later. I don't know why that's on there. I don't know why a driver would say, hey, no, I'd rather not accept tips. But you would click accept tips, and then you'll see in the next screen here, riders have the option to add a tip when rating a completed tip, which I think is fantastic. I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to pull this off now, guys. Let me know if you want me to put it back up, but I'm going to bring our chat back up here. Yeah. Just so we can see the dialogue going on here. So that's it, guys. You have to download the newest version. You have to click accept tips, and then you can get tips in the app in Minneapolis, Seattle, and Houston. Let's check the comments here. All right, let's see. Dark Road comments about brainstorming for ideas about the Lyft amp. Very cool, man. Very cool. Heard nothing. 3 months later, Lyft launched their beacon or amp idea. Uber stole that idea. Yeah, they were kind of back and forth there with the beacon and the amp. Okay, Lisa, giving us a follow-up here. After I accepted that, I got the notification that I needed to accept the addendum before going online. Wouldn't let me go online until I agreed. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure a lot of us, we could echo that. With any addendum, pay addendum, acknowledging service animals, anything, updates to like, hey, here's your insurance laws for your state. They're all done in addendums, and they do that for just security reasons, so Uber can say, hey, you agreed before you went online to drive, and they make you do so, as Lisa pointed out. Sleeping Elephant, no tip, 1 star. I've heard that strategy. I've heard some drivers do that, no tip and 1 star. I've heard some counterpoints to it too. People saying, well, if you 1 star everyone, then everyone's gonna have a low rating, and then you're gonna ignore all those drivers. Who knows? But that's certainly a strategy. Hopefully, as they release the tipping to everybody now, we can not won't have to do that as much. No, I don't. I'll tell you that I don't do that. Giving 1 star, Lisa says giving 1 star for no tip is like someone giving you 1 star because you had no water. Riders can see their ratings now. They can bite you in the butt. Yeah. Ratings are basically real time now, and passengers will see that on their front menu screen, of course, when they open their menu screen on the passenger app. Yeah, they're actually, I'm gonna. If you guys saw that video of the most unnecessary accessories, I did mention, in my opinion, water was one of those things that was really unnecessary and led to marginal ratings and tip increases. Lisa, I heard that they can wait up to 30 days before they tip you. If they can, I don't know why they would. It's. I feel like a tip would be a very spontaneous. That person made me feel good. They gave me a good experience. I want to reward them for this great experience by giving them a tip, versus waiting, let's say, 30 days. And you can say, oh, well, I think his car was really clean. I think, yeah, I'll give him a tip. You can definitely do that. If they're going to tip, they're going to tip. And as long as we get it, I think that'd be great. But some people want to wait, sure. All right, so let's move on to Lyft, okay? We talked about some huge developments from Uber. Uber announcing that in the next month, all markets, basically all markets, at least here it sounds like in the US, are going to have in-app tipping. Now, from what I remember, Lyft actually announced something before this announcement from Uber here about tips. So let's take a look at this email. And I'll try not to cover myself too much here, guys. And I'm just going through your comments as well real quick here. I'll bring it up for you guys. Here is the messaging from Lyft. Dark Road says, what sociopath would wait 30 days to tip a driver? It's the, oh, I don't know what the word is. It's it's the anticipation, I guess, you know. Oh, you're gonna get some extra money, but not yet. We're gonna tip you, but I don't get that either. I don't know why you wouldn't just tip right then and there. Then again, a lot of passengers don't rate us immediately. You know, it's they finish the ride and they close the Uber app and that's it. Now Uber has been doing something which is really beneficial. When I took my rides in Vegas, they would prompt me in my notification screen, and I can't see any right now on my phone, but they would prompt me and say, "Hey, don't forget to rate Mike your driver." And in that screen, hopefully we'll see the tipping option, right? If they didn't rate us or if they didn't tip us, Uber can say, hey, don't forget to maybe tip your driver. They could say that, don't forget to tip your driver. That'd be very proactive. But at the very least, they could say, hey, you forgot to rate your driver. Please rate Mike if you had a second. I could see them doing that. Lisa, we've only had Lyft back in Houston for 2 weeks. Hardly any riders on that. Yeah, Texas guys. I know Austin had a lot of issues with rideshare. Well, I should say Uber had a lot of issues with Austin, right? With the regulation and whatnot. That was a kind of a back and forth. We won't get too much into that. But I guess they left Houston as well. I'm not sure there. Okay, so not to tangent too much, guys. Sorry. Again, if you guys are watching this live stream right now, I really appreciate it. We're talking about everything tips with Uber and Lyft. Speaking of Lyft, let's get right into this email from Lyft. Higher fares deserve bigger tips. They were celebrating 250 million in tips, I think. It says Lyft drivers have now earned over $250 million in tips. Yep, $250 million in tips. Pause for confetti. To celebrate, we're updating the tipping screen based on recent feedback and encouraging higher tips for rides with higher fares. Awesome, check it out. Instead of the $1, $2, and $5 increments, passengers will now see options of $2, $5, and $10 for tips on rides above $25. In initial tests, this change increased tip earnings by an average of nearly 13% on rides over $25. So that is big, and that's very encouraging. I love seeing that from Lyft. What that means is basically, depending on proximity, right? But for a lot of markets, those $25 rides are airport rides, okay? Because your airport may be further away from your downtown, so you can get higher tips here. Instead of showing a passenger 1, 2, and 5, they're going to be displaying $2, $5, and $10, okay? Now, excuse me, from what I've seen, just going off the top of my memory here, in studies done in this manner, whenever whatever it may, establishment, taxis, whatever, show options for tipping, it will promote higher tips because passengers don't want to select the lowest option, because selecting the lowest option seems like they're giving the lowest allowed amount. They're giving a very, very low amount. They don't want to feel like they're giving such a low amount, so they pick the middle amount, because the highest amount seems, obviously, okay, that's a high tip, but that $2 seems like a really low tip. They're showing me that as the lowest spectrum. I'll select the $5, right? Versus what they used to see, which was $1, $2, and $5, where that $5 would be the highest amount, and now it's the middle. So we can see here it's increasing tips. They're saying earnings by an average of 13% on those rides over $25. That's a big earnings opportunity for us. So question for you guys. How many of your rides, or how prevalent, how common is it for you to get rides over $25? In the rides that we took, and I'll show you here if I can, and we took in Las Vegas, the airport wasn't too far from the Strip. So I don't believe rides were exceptionally long. We have a trip here. I want to make sure I get to the airport. Yeah. Now, rates were 90 cents a mile in Las Vegas. They're 110 a mile here. And let me check my Lyft app here. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing airport runs for Vegas, at least on my end, were around $25 for a Lyft fare here. Let's see if I can show you here, guys. Yeah, let's take this off here. So this is an airport run. You can see 20 minutes, 10 miles, and Las Vegas has additional fees here. Service fee, Nevada cost recovery fee. There's our airport fee right there. We have that in Pittsburgh. Las Vegas airport fee for allowing rideshare at the airport, basically what that's for. I had a split fee, and there's our tip in there. So I wonder how many, what's the prevalence of $25 rides for you guys? Lisa says, my best tip was $50. Dark Road says, my best tip was a pair of $120 sunglasses someone left in my car. We did comment on that. We actually did comment on items left behind in cars. Green light help location, Lyft help center if you're on Lyft to report lost items there. Melinda, thanks for watching the live stream here and commenting. Airport runs for Lyft in Oklahoma, $12 to $16. Yeah, it depends on rates. Depends on distance from downtown or wherever to the airport. So now, let's see if we can bring it back up here. Now Lyft is going to be encouraging higher tips on any of those rides that are $25 or higher. You could do that with Surge as well. You could do that with Surge or Prime Time. If you happen to catch, whatever multiplier it may be, if that's over $25, technically, from what I'm reading here, is there should be the $2 and $5 and $10 increments on those rides. Lisa, nothing is far from airport in Vegas. That's very true. Yeah, that is very true. It's a very centrally located area. That was my second time in Vegas, and yeah, it makes sense. It's a destination area. Everything's there for the Strip, basically, and other attractions. So it makes sense to have the airport close by. We gave him a $5 tip, though. Very, very nice driver. Very good experience. All of my drivers in Vegas were really good. Polite, professional. They don't have the rain and the mud that we have here. So the cars were very nice, very well detailed. Where was your hotel to be 10 miles from the airport in Vegas? Stratosphere? Was it 10 miles? Yeah, it was 10 miles. Yep. Yeah, we were staying at Stratosphere. Here's the, there's the, yep, north side of the Strip. So we weren't right in the heart of it, but Stratosphere was a good hotel. I've stayed there last time. Uber should let us filter out all Taco Bell execs. Dark Road. I don't know what's going on with Taco Bell execs. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Let's see here. I saw another highest tip here. Okay, Lisa, you commented earlier the house referring to the House in Houston, passed the bill that the state regulates all the rideshare. So all the fingerprinting went away. To answer your question, okay, we're talking about regulations there for rideshare in Houston. Lisa, Uber needs to email riders about tips, though one of our local news stations did a brief story on it today. Maybe, yeah, it was just announced today here, and I'll bring it up for anyone joining here. Uber just announced today that they are finally adding the tipping option in the Uber app, as well as a few other features, which you can see here listed. Just in 3 markets, Seattle, Houston, and Minneapolis, that are live today. Everyone else should be getting them at the end of next month, the end of July. Lisa says, yeah, the Stratosphere isn't too far from the hotel. Yeah, I don't know. She says, Lisa says that she jumped off of it, which is the, what's it called? I can't remember, but you can actually do a controlled free fall from Stratosphere, which is over 800 feet above the Las Vegas strip there. And I actually went up there. Mackenzie, my girlfriend, and I went up to the top of the observation deck at Stratosphere in Vegas, which was quite a challenge for me. I thought I was okay with heights. Once you get up to almost 1,000 feet, guys, it gets pretty intimidating. Even though there's 2 rows of, railings there. Whew. Good view, but that was some view up there, guys. So before actually, let's get into some questions here. We're not going to wrap it up just yet here. We have 12 people on the live stream. You guys are awesome. Hey, let's take a moment here. If you guys are enjoying the live stream, leave a like. Not only does that show me that you guys are getting value from the live stream, but it boosts us in YouTube's algorithm, gets more people in here, more people on Your Driver team. So as we are getting towards the end of the live stream here, guys, I have some questions for you. And if you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, Uber's announcement of in-app tipping, Lyft's announcement of encouraging higher tips for longer rides, post them in the comments here. Skyjump, thank you, Lisa. It's called Skyjump at Stratosphere. If you have any questions, post them in a comment right now. Dark Road says, legally speaking, do all cities require business licenses for independent contractors? It's kind of a wide-reaching question, because if we talk about independent contractors, we're talking about plumbers, electricians, all of those are independent contractor jobs, at least to my knowledge. Some of them are, let's say. But if we're talking about ride share, if I can target it basically on ride share here, hey, we got another subscriber notification. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. From what I know is usually you won't need any additional licensing except for certain markets. Okay, here in Pittsburgh, you need to legally notify your insurer, okay, and that's unique for Pennsylvania. Not every market you need to legally do that, but here in Pennsylvania you do. And I don't know if a lot of drivers are doing that, unfortunately, but we were given that an addendum. So I would need to go to my insurer and say, hey, before I start, you need to say, hey, I'm going to be driving for rideshare. Now, there are a lot of hybrid policies which cover you in your personal and, rideshare, aka commercial for hire driving. Geico has it, Erie Insurance has it, State Farm has it in Pennsylvania. But you don't need any additional PUC, which is Pennsylvania Utilities Commission, licensing, like a taxi would, okay? Now, of course, that is a hot button issue. Of course, that's the keystone of the argument that the taxi industry had. Now, some markets you need special licensing, okay? New York City, you need full commercial insurance in New York City, okay? In Vegas, where I was at on vacation, I saw our drivers have the TPC numbers, I believe it was called. TPC numbers. which I also saw in public transportation. Okay, now I'm not an expert in that, space in the legal realm here, but we can definitely look into that more here. Yeah, Lisa. Okay, yeah, Lisa's confirming. Yeah, hey, guys, good point here that Dark Road Run just made. Such a risk to drive with just personal insurance policy. Guys, if you are driving with just your personal insurance policy, what happens is there is a period of driving, and I want to get too much into insurance. We can do another, video or stream on insurance. But a period one of driving, when your app is on, okay, you're online, but you don't have a passenger, that is period one driving, okay? Period two is when you have your request. Okay, you've gotten your request and you're heading to your passenger. Okay, you've accepted a ride from Dave. Okay, and then you're going to get Dave. Period three is when Dave gets in the car. Okay, and there's different tiered insurance levels for those periods. Okay, what Dark Road is mentioning is in that period one, your personal insurer most likely may not cover you for a claim. Okay, an at-fault claim. So let's say you get into an accident, and you say, "Oh, well, yeah, I got into an accident. I just need to file a claim. No big deal." They're probably going to ask you. They'll say, "Well, were you driving for a rideshare company like Uber or Lyft? Probably even Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, Amazon Flex." You say, "Yeah." I'll say, "I'm sorry, we're not going to cover you. We're going to have to deny your claim because we just cover your personal driving. We do not cover you using your car for business purposes." So you need to get hybrid insurance. You can get it usually, again, through the same carrier, State Farm, Geico, etc. You just need to let them know, and you're not typically not going to pay too much more for it, and it's an easy thing to pay for. That gives you more coverage, and lets them be aware that you're driving for rideshare. Okay, Lisa commenting about TNC regulations in Houston that have changed, that went away. Fred, hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate you commenting here on the live stream. Fred says they just changed the insurance for Uber drivers. Interesting. We'll have to check that out. I know that Uber and Lyft had a $1 million umbrella coverage for drivers when they had that period three with a passenger. Okay, so if there's changes to that, maybe if you guys want to leave a link, after we post this video in the comment section, we can definitely look into that more. XAKEP909, legally speaking, are we allowed to drive unaccompanied minors? Hey, if you guys are watching right now on the live stream after we're done here, or if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, I can try to post something, up here. We did a video about if you're allowed to drive minors on the Uber and Lyft platform. And 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. Okay. There was a pilot program, which I haven't heard much about since, called Uber Teen Accounts, that allowed unaccompanied minors, on the, here, let's take this off, guys. Sorry. Okay. That allowed for unaccompanied minors on the Uber platform. This is just Uber, okay? Just Uber. It would be under a family account. Okay, a parent would request a ride for the teen, or the teen would request a ride and the parent would get notification because it was attached to that family parent account. The parent was basically the admin, okay? But so check that video out, okay? And I haven't looked in really too much of that since then, as it was a pilot program, okay? But generally, the answer is no. No, you cannot transport unaccompanied minors. Obviously, there's, legal reasons, liability. You are not allowed, no. Yep, as Lisa comments, yeah, you're not allowed to do it unless you're in one of those markets with teen accounts. Hey, Michael. I have a picture on the picture. This picture? Hold on. This picture? Michael says something about the picture here on the app. I don't know. I don't know about that. Hey, appreciate you joining the live stream, Michael, by the way. All right, guys. As we wrap it up here, you guys had so many great questions here. I didn't really ask any of my questions that we had for you. So we touched on this a little bit here, but I wanted to ask, we asked how much of this is Travis Kalanick. Is this the new staffing? Is this their idea and they're actually allowed to do more things, more wide-reaching things on the Uber platform? Or is this Travis Kalanick from afar on his leave saying, you know what, I really do want to improve myself and I want to improve the Uber platform for both drivers and passengers? Okay, let's not knock that out of the realm of possibility. He could say, I really want to come back to this company and improve Uber for the drivers and passengers. I want to improve myself. I know there's a lot of skewed and heavy opposition to him as a leader. I'm just simply being neutral here, guys. Is this Travis or is this the new leadership? I'm interested in that. In relation to that, will this heal the bad blood about Uber's culture? Is it a little too late? Okay, these next 6 months, 180 days of improvement. Okay, 180 days of improvement from Uber. Is this going to heal all the bad press, all the bad opinions? I mean, even drivers. Look on forums, look on other videos. I always try to keep it neutral, professional for you guys because I want to have more of a dialogue versus just going one way or the other. But is this going to improve the whole culture and mindset about Uber? Okay, let's see here, guys. The market with teen accounts. Okay, Lisa commenting about the teen accounts here. Dark Road. Travis should drive for Uber for a year to get some real perspective. It's an interesting point, guys. Anytime someone's in a senior leadership role, I think it'd be a good idea to whatever, industry you're in to try some other, positions within your whole, business structure, right? If you guys know, my full-time job is in customer service. We've had huge high-level executives come into our customer service building and listen to phone calls. And I think that's good. I think that's what you should do to have a feel for different parts of the company. That wouldn't hurt. DMT Lewis, thanks for joining here. Tips are going to make a huge difference. Absolutely. Tips are going to make a big difference on the Uber platform, guys. How many people use Uber as a passenger? Okay, that's a lot of chances to get more earnings from tips. Okay. DMT asks, are they going to make them tip after the ride or before? It's with the rating after, so that will be after the ride. Lisa, oh, thank you. Lisa's doing a good job of answering as well. Appreciate that, Lisa. Okay, let's see. Hey, Michael, good point. Yeah, Lyft needs to change their cancel times like Uber. 5-minute wait time is way too long. We were commenting earlier, guys, if you're in transit to your passenger, you will now get a cancellation fee if they cancel after 2 minutes. Okay, now that's just in transit. If you get there, excuse me, guys, a lot of talking here. Sorry. So If you get there, okay, it's still going to be, from my understanding, that 5-minute window, but you will get paid after waiting for 2 minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes, and they cancel in transit, you get a cancellation fee. If you arrive and it's 2 minutes of waiting and you're still waiting, you'll get paid for that wait time. And I believe, well, you should still get the cancellation fee as well if it's after 5 minutes. Dark Road. As a passenger, I would still tip my driver in cash to avoid taxes. I'm not going to advise to, skirt tax laws, guys. I can't say that. You can certainly tip your driver in cash still, I would imagine. That's interesting, though. Once they have this tip option in-app, you can still tip in cash. You could. I'm not going to advise you skirt any tax laws, guys. Dark Road, what kind of drink is that? I had a feeling someone was going to ask me that. It matches my shirt. It's a supplement, actually. It's not even like Crystal Light. It's a supplement. It's called Lean Mode. It's a kind of a fat burner thing or another. It's DMT. I am a 5-star on Lyft and a 4.92 on Uber. But I've been doing lots of Lyft because of tips. Yep. But Uber is more popular with getting pings, so I can't wait. I'm in New York, by the way. Nice. All right. That's very cool. What DMT is saying actually is something that I could pretty much echo, is that a lot of us, I feel, would be doing more Lyft runs because, again, apples and oranges, what? Apples to apples, if everything was the same, if you're doing a base fare, why wouldn't you take the Lyft run? Because there's a potential for tips. Now you have a potential for tips on either app once this is live for everybody. Yeah, Lisa says we shouldn't have to wait 5 minutes to get a cancellation fee after we've arrived. Interesting. Yeah, I know that would certainly be a good thing to have, a shorter wait time. Michael says, I requested an Uber XL from Pitt to Idlewild Soak Zone, and he wouldn't bring me, and I was charged a cancel fee. Michael's in the Pittsburgh market as well as myself, capital of the autonomous Uber team here, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pitt, like downtown, I would imagine, to Idlewild, which is an amusement park here. He wouldn't bring me. That's odd. I can't advise to cherry pick rides either, guys. Calling ahead, asking for destinations, refusing rides. Now, the one caveat is if it's late, if you have a prior engagement you have to get to, if you have personal plans or whatever. If you are, again, ending for the day and someone wants to take an hour ride, way out of the city, and you can't do that, and you've already accepted the ride, you can do that. You can refuse that ride. You are allowed to refuse a ride as an independent contractor. I would not charge them a cancellation fee, though. I would say, I apologize. I'm ending for the day. I cannot go that far out of the city. I really do apologize. That's really the only reason I would see. Or again, I can't go that far out of the city. I have a prior engagement that's, in the other direction. Unfortunately, I won't be able to take this. And let them know you're not going to charge them a cancellation fee. It's just one quick moment of customer service. I know you're going to have to bite the cancellation fee. But, as we would be the ones that would be canceling, when they expected a ride, I would apologize, say, I'm really sorry. I was actually ending for the day and I can't take you as you're going an hour away. I greatly apologize. I'm not going to charge you a cancellation fee, anything like that. You can even say, I can wait and ensure that you get another ride, and just, because they're going to be in your car or even outside of the car, and just look at their app and say, okay, hey, I see you got another ride, thank you. Yeah, Michael's saying, thought it was a long ride and would be a lot of money. Yeah, that's kind of, it may be one of those things, Hey, Dark Road, thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're wrapping it up here, guys. So post any final questions here. Yeah, Michael, thought it would be a long ride. You don't understand why a driver would cancel. Maybe something, something like that. Maybe they're ending for the day or it's too far for them. I don't know. It's tough to say. Yeah, I mean, my longest ride was, I don't know, over an hour, and even not knowing the immediate strategy afterwards, because again, dead miles possibly coming back into the city, I accepted it because that's our job to accept trips, and I don't want to refuse somebody that they've been wanting a ride, and then you refuse them, and then they're still left, out there wanting a ride. All right, as we wrap it up here, guys, post any final questions. We still have 14 people. Oh, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. See, guys, I told we have good times on the live stream here, guys. We always have a good discussion. That's why we do these live streams, to have a good discussion here, guys. So any final questions? Lisa says, Michael, I'm in XL. Give me a long trip on XL any day, right? Those higher rates per mile on XL, guys. Lisa wants a longer ride over there in Houston. All right. DMT says a way Lyft could get back from this is to, as soon as we get the request, we should be able to see the passenger pickup destination and the amount of the fare, and we decide to accept or not. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that may lead to some drivers cherry picking those rides. With Lyft, we can see the ending destination, once we get to the pickup destination. So there is that. It gives us an idea of how far that ride's going to be. But if we got it with the ping request, I think that may lead to some drivers cherry picking those rides. Thanks, Fred. Fred reaching out here. And yeah, if you guys want to contact me directly, check out the profile on my channel here in the About section. There's some contact info there. If you want to contact me via email, you can send me a direct tweet. You can send me a message on YouTube. There's a lot of different ways. And I try to get back to everyone if I can. Yeah, Lisa says I've contacted Uber and had them refund the cancellation fee. Yeah, we can do that. Sometimes, guys, I mean, it depends how, if you're driving full time, I really do think every dollar matters. You're investing in the car. You are providing for yourself, for your family. So every dollar really does matter, and I imagine, for anyone, full-time or part-time driver, it would hurt to get to a passenger and then have to refuse them because they're too far, and then have to not get a cancellation fee simply for a customer service move. Say, hey, I don't want to charge you. Being a customer service situation, I want to make sure that I give you a good experience and refund that cancellation, or not even give them a cancellation. Yeah, that can be a little bit tough to swallow there. Michael, Lyft used to have a destination filter back in the good old days. Really? We don't see a destination filter anymore. Let's look. I guess I haven't noticed it disappeared. They snuck it, guys. Let's see. Where's your comment, Michael? See, I'm still seeing this destination filter. Right there. And my awful picture on Lyft. I changed it, by the way. I changed my profile picture on the worst decision ever because it looks awful. Yeah, I'm still seeing the destination filter. Maybe it was back when he didn't have it, maybe? I don't know, Okay, Lisa. Okay, Lisa confirmed the same. Oh, Michael's saying you could see the pickup and drop off points when you accepted the ride. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know you can see it, I believe, whenever you get to your passenger. Yeah, I don't know about when you accepted the ping, though. I see what you're saying. All right, guys, a few more minutes here. We still got 8 people on here, guys. You are awesome. Lastly, guys, if you're just joining this live stream by chance, or if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. This channel is dedicated to the rideshare space. If you're a driver, if you're a passenger, if you're just someone interested in the rideshare space, consider subscribing. And I don't always have this raspy voice. It's because I came back from vacation. A lot of sun, guys. I guess my voice got fried as well. All right. Any other final questions? I hate leaving you guys. We're having such a good conversation right now. And okay, yeah, DMT is saying it's not with the request. Okay. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying. Okay. Any other questions about tips, guys? I know we were going to talk about how to get tips. We did do a video on that, so I apologize we didn't really get to that in full. It does come down to good customer service, knowing your market, having a presentable car, and driving professionally. But we also did a video on tipping if you guys want to review that as well. Any other final questions about Uber's announcement, which is any questions on this, guys? Any other final questions before we go about Uber's announcement? Any of their new features? We have an announcement from Lyft. If I can find it. There we go. Any other questions about Lyft and how Lyft system is working here? DMT says Lyft bump up the tips to $2, $5, and $10. It used to be $1, $2, and $5. That is correct, guys. That is correct. Lyft is bumping up the tipping threshold to $2, $5, and $10. Caveat being it's only longer rides or higher earnings rides, $25 or higher. But I think that's definitely a good move. 10% of 25 is only $2.50. And the lowest tip threshold on there is going to be $2, which is less than 10% tip. If they had the 1, 2, and 5 on there, that $1 is like, what is that? 5%, 4% tip. It needed to be higher, so that's a good move by them. Any other questions, guys? Michael, do you think Uber will find a way to steal driver tips? A lot of controversy with the upfront pricing, guys. I think that's alluding to upfront pricing where allegedly, although it's been proven, I'll say allegedly, there's been price discrepancies of what passengers have been charged, higher amounts, and what drivers have earned, which are normal or lower amounts, and that imbalance Uber would keep, okay? And I believe there is a lawsuit or a class action starting about that as well. So Michael was saying, do you think Uber will find a way to take or siphon off some of those tips that drivers are receiving? I would hope not, and I think there may be, do not quote me on this, but I think there may be some legal issues in doing so. I think the way that the tips are earnings-wise, do not quote me on that, but Lyft does not take anything from tips, and I believe there may be something that has to do with why that would be, but hopefully no. No, hopefully I would say that Uber would not siphon off tips. Yeah, DMT Lewis. Yeah, that's just for trips over $25 on Lyft. Michael says $25 ride in this market, referring to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is hard to come by, even for airport rides. Airport rides, now, are they talking gross or net? Because if it's a gross revenue, what the passenger pays, then yeah, I could see it easier to get $25 rides downtown to the airport on Uber and Lyft here in Pittsburgh. Should be about that, $25 or so. But if it's net, is it net price? What we get I wouldn't imagine. I would imagine it's got to be gross costs. Yeah, but I mean, whatever market you're in, guys, if you can get those surge of primetime runs, hopefully you guys can get single rides, which are $25 or higher, which are very good rides, by the way, if you can get that on one ride. So if you do, and you're on Lyft, passengers should see those higher thresholds for tipping. Any other questions? Lisa, out of Houston, any guesses what the improvements over the next few months will be? You know, the only thing I've really ever thought about was in-app tipping. You know, from an earnings standpoint, that is the only thing that has been on my mind. It's something that they need to write it in the app. You know, and now they have. Okay, so what's next? You know, I am really not sure. I don't use their navigation. I don't think I ever will. I tried it. It's very clunky. I didn't like it when I first started driving, and I've been using Google Maps ever since. So I mean, navigation doesn't concern me. You know, earnings concerns me. You know, what can they do for earnings that would help us? That's what I want to see. And the tipping is a great step towards improvement for that. Hey, I mean, speaking of earnings, we mentioned several times that I felt like it's time to increase rates in January of 2018. Do you guys think that's one of the improvements? Rate increase. That could be something that would help drivers. Wow, I just thought of that, guys. I mean, I think we talked about this briefly in some other videos. I mean, is it now time to increase rates everywhere? Even 5 cents. I mean, 5 cents a mile. 5 cents to 50 cents would be great. You know, because some markets, I cite, you know, State College, Pennsylvania, which is 175 a mile. You know, it's a very small market. It's one university, basically. But State College is 175 a mile. You know, they don't really need a rate increase. That's like the highest rate in the U.S., basically. So you could bump them up to 180, you know, let's say. But rates like Oklahoma City, okay, they're at 65 cents a mile, right? Orlando, I believe, is at 65 cents a mile. Give those guys a 50-cent increase. You know, give them, double it, you know. Yeah, double it to like what, 130 a mile? You know, even that is strong, you know, better. Michael, wasn't rates originally 125 a mile? 120. Yeah, they were 120 a mile here in Pittsburgh in 2015. It was lowered to 90 cents a mile in January of 2016. No one drove at 90 cents a mile. Uber raised rates to 105 a mile shortly after that in 2016. And then recently with the driver protection program, they supplemented that program with another rate increase to now it's 110 a mile. Michael says, bro, do you even lift? The puns, guys. Lyft. I love it, guys. You guys are awesome. DMT Lewis makes a great point here. Hey, I wish they would only take 20%, not 25%. Yeah, new drivers, guys. And by the way, we still have 8 of you on here. That is awesome. We're at an hour and 30 minutes. That is awesome. You know, I'll keep going for a little bit. You know, we're having really good dialogue right now, guys. And every one of you watching, if you're watching this, if you made it this far on the rebroadcast, please comment below and say I made it this far, because you're awesome as well. Even if you didn't watch the whole thing, it's okay. I completely get it, guys. This is awesome. Lewis made a really good point. We're talking about rate increases. We're talking about tips. We didn't really touch on surge or prime time, but what about commission? What about commission? We never really entertained the idea of maybe they would lower commission. That's interesting. And is there any benefit to lowering commission versus increasing rates? You know, is there any difference to that between either one? All right, let's see here, guys. I'm losing your chat here. Lewis, how does the gas card work? Do I have my wallet here? I think I have my wallet here somewhere, guys. Well, okay. I don't know where it's at. I think it's in the other room. I could show you. Um, the gas card, it saves you some money at certain fuel stations. I haven't used it in forever. It will save you some money. You will go to the participating gas station. I think it's basically any gas station, but it varies depending on who it is. You will swipe that card. Well, you can swipe a rewards card first, I believe. And then you swipe that card, you select credits, you enter your odometer reading, and then you're going to enter your driver number, which Uber gives you in the Uber app, okay? And it doesn't charge your bank account or anything like that, okay? What it does is withhold earnings in that amount, from your earnings, okay? So if you fill up on a tank of gas, it's $25 or whatever, your earnings will say minus 25. So you have to make at least $25 to pay off that fuel savings. So what that does, it allows you to operate without your bank account being touched. So if you don't want to worry about, okay, well, I already spent $75 in gas this week, how are my finances? You don't even have to worry about that. You can say, okay, just drive, fill up when you need gas, and Uber will manage the balance of your net profit after your gas expenses. So it alleviates some of that finance management on your own end, but the convenience. From what I've heard, not a lot of drivers are using it right now. Michael, remember when Detroit was 35 cents a mile? That's sad. Yes, I do remember that, guys. Uber kind of experimented in what many said was an experiment with how low can we go with rates and still have drivers drive, and they had it at 35 cents a mile, which was unexplainably low, and we all know that. Steve, hey, I believe you are just commenting now, so I appreciate you commenting and watching the live stream. Steve Boston says they did increase the rates with upfront pricing, but drivers don't benefit from that. Yeah, what he's alluding to is Uber giving them a raise, giving themselves a raise because they're charging passengers more, paying drivers the same, and pocketing that difference. And again, I believe there's some class actions or some lawsuits starting around that, so I don't think that's going to fly for too long. Okay, because passengers get charged more, drivers are earning less, and Uber's keeping the remaining balance. Okay, and now, I've seen examples. I'm not going to outrightly say that Uber is purposely doing this. All right, I'm here to provide you dialogue and info. I don't want to accuse anyone of intentional manipulation. But from what I've seen, it's definitely been proven that there's been a price discrepancy here. Okay, and all we want is fair pricing. Steve said the gas card is meant to, I think you meant to keep drivers in the hole, to stay on the road. What Steve's saying there is when you do use that gas card, you're not necessarily aware, let's say, of how much you're spending on gas. And if you're spending more on gas and not driving for the most profit, okay, or if you're not making as much profit as you would expect, you can be in the hole, if you're constantly using the gas card to fill up. Because Uber is basically giving you credit, saying, all right, yeah, we'll pay the gas for you, just we'll take it out of your earnings. So you have to be careful because you don't want to always be chasing your tail trying to make up that expenditure. Lisa says, don't do the gas card. Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of good things about the gas card. I stopped using it right after it started launching over a year ago. Lisa, they increased rates by 11 cents in California somewhere. That's pretty cool. Okay. Someone commented that below at the end of this video here if someone can confirm what a market that was. Thoughts on Michael? Thoughts on starting an Uber or Lyft fleet? I have no thoughts on it because I have no experience in it. Honestly, I'll be straight honest with you guys. I don't know. I have no idea on how to do that, what it entails, legal requirements, registration by city, rentals with drivers. I have no idea. I believe the rideshare professor does that. He is a fleet owner. He rents out cars to drivers. Yeah, rideshare professor does that. I have no experience in how to do that, on how to start a fleet. Lewis, DMT Lewis is saying if Lyft starts going down, let's say Lyft starts losing market share, they could just decrease commission to 20%, and everyone would start going to Lyft. Yeah, drivers. More drivers would be on there. They'd have to ensure they get more passenger demand as well. It's always tough with these rideshare companies because they're playing a game of thin margins. Hey Steve, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. Just got your notification. Appreciate you joining me, your driver team here. Awesome, man. Excuse me. The rideshare companies are having this tough margin between operations, obviously, and profits. So they're balancing incentives for drivers with incentives for passengers, right? So if they decrease commission, they're going to have to find a way to get more passengers. Oh, Lisa. Guys, Lisa brings up a good point here. I have a friend who uses it, the gas card. He gets hit with several charges. DMT Lewis, thanks for subscribing. And thank you for Apple for giving me my notifications on my email. It pops up on my screen here. I get emails from YouTube every time someone subscribes. Thanks to DMT Lewis for subscribing here, guys. It's awesome. Lisa said, yeah, the gas card, he gets hit with several charges at one time. They don't take it out immediately. Last time they took over $200 at one time. This has happened, yeah. And drivers in the Pittsburgh market here have noticed this, is when you used to use this gas card from Uber, you spend $25, okay, we take $25 out of your pay. You earn, $75, You spend another $25 on gas, it gets taken out. But what drivers notice is that Uber will say, all right, well, you spent $25, you're making your money, you spent $25, and they didn't take either $25 out. You spent $50 in gas, and they still haven't taken out of your earnings, so you're really not sure when to stop driving to make the profit that you want. And then all at once, Uber will take the whole charge out. Okay, $75 in gas at once, or whatever it may be. Yeah, that's. I have no idea if that's how they are doing it now, or if that's a glitch. Because from what we were told, that's supposed to be a glitch because it was supposed to be taken out, concurrently as you're driving, as you're using it. Michael, what kind of phone do you use? I use an iPhone. Look, there's a reflection, guys. Check us out. I'm using an iPhone 7, matte black, Verizon, 32 gig, with a, hold on, let me pull that up here, guys. With a life-proof nude phone case. iPhone 7, life-proof nude phone case. We actually did an unboxing review of this phone case in one of my first videos, which was a very, I don't want to say amateur, but it was one of my first videos, and it was kind of amateur. It was a 25-minute unboxing, which was not enough editing, too much talking, I guess. Good phone though, it's a good phone. I needed an upgrade, so we went with the iPhone 7. Life-proof nude, good. Expensive case, but I've used their cases for years. All right, guys, what time is it? 10:42 p.m. on the East Coast here. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here, guys. Unless anyone has pressing questions here, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I want to say thank you to everyone that's joined us on this kind of casual, cool little hangout session here, guys, as we talk about Uber, Lyft, tipping, and the newest announcements from both Uber and Lyft encouraging passengers to tip, and Uber finally adding the tipping option in their app, which is awesome. Steve, I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Been driving part-time a little over a year and a half. Lewis, some lose signal. Verizon here in Pittsburgh is pretty decent. You know, there's very, very few spots where I don't get service, I believe. But, you know, per usual, you know, in more rural areas. All right, guys. I love it. Love hanging out with you guys. We're going to have to go, unfortunately. Again, thank you for joining the live stream. Right now, before you go, before you click that X up there or go to your homepage or whatever you're going to do on the internet, I don't know, hit the like button. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, hit the like button right now. It shows me that you guys are getting value and you are enjoying the live stream. And we'll see you in the next one. Who knows what we're going to talk about next time. We do live streams whenever we can. We do live streams on the road when we're driving, real-time strategies. We're also on Twitter, on Snapchat, and that's about it, guys. All right, so with that, your driver Mike here. I do appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.